Hi everyone. I wanted to take a few minutes to tell you the story of Jim's ancestry, which helped to shape his views on family, country, and serving others. Jim was born James Lyle Eddy and was the fifth-born son to his natural father, Joseph Gregory Eddy II, who we knew as Joe Eddy. He was born October 5, 1923 in St. Louis, Missouri. Jim has several half-siblings, including the late Joseph Gregory Eddy III, Mike Eddy, David Eddy, and Kimberly Eddy, along with his two full brothers, Steve and Adam Bloomberg. Joe Eddy was a captain in the Air Force and served in World War II and the Korean War. He was a third-generation American of Irish descent. Jim's second great-grandfather, Michael Eddy, immigrated from Ireland in the 1800s and was said to have served in the American Civil War. Jim's great-uncle, John J. Eddy II, was a sergeant in the U.S. Army and was part of the Argonne Offensive Battle during World War I. It was the largest American operation of the war and the deadliest campaign in American history. Jim's grandfather, Joseph Gregory Eddy Sr., was said to have served in World War I and had a long career in the railroad industry building America's transportation infrastructure. Joe Eddy's mother, Margaret Lucille Clark, known as Pearl Clark, attended law school in the 1920s in Missouri and was part of the pioneering generation of female lawyers. She later worked for the VA. Jim was very close to his mother, Maureen. He told me numerous times that she had made great sacrifices for her children and that he loved her dearly. Maureen was born on April 19, 1938, in Kilwinning, Scotland, to James, also known as Jimmy Murphy, and Hannah Malone. She was an only child and grew up in Ayrshire and Troon, Scotland. I remember her telling me she was terrified of German attacks during World War II. She said the Scottish people feared the airports and shipyards would become bombing targets, and several did. These experiences influenced her early career working for the British Ministry of Defence. Maureen's parents were born in Scotland, but both came from Irish origin. Jim was named after his grandfather, James Murphy, and his great-aunt, Raya Malone's husband, Lyle Black, who served in the Scottish military during World War II. James Murphy also served in the Scottish military, but in the Home Guard during the German invasions. Hannah was the eldest child to Irish parents John Malone and Elizabeth Bailey. They had 7 children: Hannah, William, Raya, Ellen, Jean, John, and Lily. Her younger sister, Lily, was married to Andrew Ray, who was a tank operator in World War II and was part of the Dunkirk evacuation in France, with the rescue of over 338 Allied soldiers from Dunkirk in 1940. Maureen met Joe Eddy while he was in Scotland serving in the U.S. Air Force, while she was serving in the British Ministry of Defence. They got married and moved to America. Their marriage only lasted a few years, and shortly after, she started seeing and later married Major Elliot L. Bloomberg. Elliot was a pilot in the Air Force and served in Vietnam. Later, when he retired from the military, he worked as a commercial airline captain. Jim looked up to him throughout his life. Elliot Leonard Bloomberg, born April 27, 1936, was the son of Morris Bloomberg and Irene Rosenfield. He was interested in the military from a young age, which is evident through photos and family stories. Irene visited the Bloombergs many times in Texas. Irene, also known as Grandma Bloomberg, was described as a loving woman who treated the boys as her own. Jim was very fond of her and spoke about her many times throughout my life. I would now like to share with you something that Jim once said. To my friends and family that have served, whether you have served in the past, present, or future, whether it was one hitch or a 40-year career, in peace or wartime, active guard, reserve, or auxiliary, this is a day to remember your service and your sacrifices to the families. They could not have done it without you, without your support. I know I speak for Jim and our entire family when I say, for those of you who have served your country in any capacity, we thank you.